Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Josh Halter, owner and founder of The Biodude, and I have another episode of terrarium tips for you guys. And today, I'm going to show you guys how to create your isopod master culture. I'm going to show you guys some of my isopod cultures. We're going to put together the Dude's Isopod Kit and show you some of the other tools of the trade that are super helpful when culturing isopods. Let's get started. So, for starters, I have some beautiful Montenegro isopods here. This is one of my master cultures that is in one of the larger tubs. This is one of the larger flat tubs that we get from Home Depot. And you can see here, they are absolutely thriving with a very healthy population of tropical pinks. This is on the Dude's Terra Isopoda substrate. And I absolutely love these guys. And you can see all life stages crawling throughout this piece of cork. So for starters, this is the standard tub that is offered in our kits. This is a 16-quart Sterilite tub. You can see right here, we have a really healthy population of Oreo crumbles here. Look at these guys. This is, again, on the Isopoda. Now, this has been set up for a really long time. You can see these guys are absolutely loving the substrate and loving the cork. This is all that's left of a ram's head seed pod. They are just demolishing all the different types of biodegradables in here. So this gives you a good example of the tub. So next you're going to see that a lot of our tubs have ventilation. Different isopod species need different levels of ventilation. So to make sure you understand the husbandry requirements of the species that you are trying to culture, because they are all different. All need different things. So in a standard 16-ounce Sterilite tub that is included with your Biodude kit, boom, boom, here's the lid. So as you can see here, there's a couple ways to do this. What we like to do is we'll use a soldering gun. And we'll heat the soldering gun up, and then we'll poke holes here on the side, right like this. And then once it is completely melted on the side, as you can see here, boom. Then what we will do is take some screen. This is just some of our terrarium screen dividers, a normal fiberglass window screen. And we'll cut out small pieces to go over the holes. And then we will use a hot glue gun and hot glue this over the holes. And you can do this for almost any type of tub. You can make the hole as big as you want. As you can see here, in this tub, for some of our other species, this is how we like to do it. This is an airtight locking lid and tub that actually has a nice lip. So fruit flies cannot get in. Invasive critters cannot get in. We drilled a hole here at the very front, and then we took black silicone and window screen and silicone this right over the hole. A, it allows us to stack them, and B, it allows us to be able to successfully have adequate airflow within this habitat itself. And in here you can see these are the big Lavis oranges with a very healthy springtail population in here. This is a newer culture set up on the Isopoda, so it's only about a month old. So we're giving this bad boy time to really get going. So when it comes to the holes, pay attention to your species. If you're not sure, drop a comment in here and we can help you the best we can. So let's get started with actually putting the culture together. So we have our Isopoda, our palm bark, cork bark, leaf litter, calcium bone, soil cal plus, as well as bug grub, some lotus pods, some Arcadia custodian fool, and Repashy morning wood. I'll go over all of this briefly in a little bit. So first, let's take our Isopoda. Now, I love this substrate. It's really light, it's fluffy, and it provides a really nice nutrient-rich substrate with a lot of different hardwoods, a little bit of coir, a little bit of peat, a little bit of all the other good stuff in here, fortified with calcium. I typically tend to do a nice even layer. I am going to add in a little bit more calcium just because I'm going to be putting some oranges in here, and they need a little bit more calcium access to it. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my Soil Cal Plus, I'm going to open it up, and I'm just going to dump it on in here like this. Okay? I'm then going to take my calcium bone, Now the beauty of this is you want to break this up into a whole bunch of little tiny chunks. And you don't have to use the full thing at once. You can literally just use little bits of it at a time and as needed. But the biggest thing is they like chunks, little tiny chunks that are thoroughly mixed up within your substrate. It provides hot spots within your soil as well as feeding zones for your high calcium loving species. So I got these broken up here. Bada bing, bada boom. Next, we're going to take our leaf litter. Right like that. So we got our leaves in here. Now, the leaves are just an extra layer of food for your cleanup crew. Just like in your bioactive habitat, they are going to biodegrade little by little and get eaten by many of your different isopod species and provide microbial hotspots in your substrate. Next, I'm just going to take a little bit of palm bark. Now, you don't need a lot, guys, just a little bit. If you guys want to do the soak method like you've seen me do before, it's as simple as taking the amount that you need, soaking it in water for about 25-30 minutes, and then go ahead and cut it and mix it up with your substrate. So next, what I'm going to do, I have a little bit of southern palm bark in here. I have my leaf litter, my calcium bone, my Soil Cal Plus, and my Terra Isopoda. Next, what I'm going to do is just start thoroughly mixing everything together. Now, you cannot use a pure coconut fiber, guys. It does not work. Number two, you want to make sure that the substrate is light and fluffy. Your isopods need to be able to thoroughly move it, need to be able to thoroughly burrow, and be able to make sure that they can access every level of your substrate. And then, of course, lastly, lots and lots of different biofuels in there. And when I say biofuels, we're talking leaf litter, we're talking palm bark, and we're talking cork bark pieces, as well as different foods. So now that I got everything nice and mixed together, there's leaves on the top layer, there's leaves on the bottom, there's palm bark mixed in throughout everything. Next, what I'm going to do is give this a nice light misting. Okay. Then I'm going to take my lotus pods, which these are hands down one of the best nut pods, by the way. And I like to take them and put them facing down like so, right in the dirt. Don't put them over the leaves, put them over the dirt. Then we're going to take our cork bark pieces like so. Now, some species like the cork bark more than others. And I'll show you just in a little bit, but either way, you want to make sure that if you're culturing dwarf whites, that the cork is placed in the actual dirt itself, completely submerged. So it absorbs water and becomes a microbial hotspot. If it's oranges or anything like that, you want to make sure that it's towards the top but partially submerged in the substrate. So here we have lots of different opportunities. We have lotus pods and we have cork bark plus all of our biodegradables. So boom, here we go. We now have everything set up and ready for our isopods. We're going to pretend that the air holes are already in this tub. So what comes next is let's talk about feeding them. So there's a couple options out there. Your kit is going to include bug rub. Bug rub is primarily what we use just to sprinkle on the top layer of the substrate as the isopod food. It does have a lot of protein in it, which is really helpful for some of your protein-loving isopods, but it doesn't hurt to give them some freeze-dried fish, some freeze-dried shrimp, things like that. But you can also go ahead and use the gel premix of the morning wood. This is made specifically for detrivores, and it turns into like a gel mix, and we have found that almost all species love this stuff. And then we also carry the Arcadia custodian fuel, which you can sprinkle throughout your habitat very easily, and you're good to go. So what I'm gonna do is we will just sprinkle a little bit of bug rub in every couple days, Rapashi morning wood every couple days, and custodian fuel every couple days, an even amount between the three of them for a well-balanced diet. And then last but not least, let's talk about getting some isopods in here. So here we have one of my favorites. This is one of my larger cultures right here called dairy cows. Now, dairy cows cannot climb the sides, hence why there's no cover over here. Look at these bad boys. These guys eat everything. They eat the hardwood, and you can see these guys are cultured on isopoda. Look at, we have all life stages right there. Look at that. These guys are really, really awesome. really awesome. And you can see, look at that nice healthy mixture right there of all life stages going through here. Look at that. Very, very cool. All right, and you can see here we have all 4 sides drilled for maximum ventilation with this species. Okay guys, so it's really important that you also want to add some springtails into your isopod habitat as well. At least we recommend it. It just is another way to keep your soil nice and healthy. So I have a really healthy handful here of tropical pinks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pinks, I'm going to dump them right there and put them right under the lotus pod. And you can pull them from literally any of your other master cultures. You just want to make sure you don't cross-contaminate species, because that's one thing we don't want to do. And then we've got to then add the isopods. All right, so we got about 50 specimens of powder blues in here, all different life stages. And this is what we're going to use to initially seed this habitat. So we're going to then put in a little bit of, we're going to dump these guys in there. Gonna let them get set and acclimated. We're gonna put some food in a couple hours. And that is how we set up our isopod master cultures. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of terrarium tips. We have a lot of other stuff coming. Something you want to see, drop a line in the comments. Make sure you come visit my point of sale Monday through Friday and Saturday. I really appreciate everybody's support. Visit my website, hit that like and subscribe button. The dude abides.